Apparently, Diddy gradually breaks under the strain of different famous people. There are many reports about him losing it after the colossal kickback and openness he gets for being supposedly associated with Jamie Foxx hospitalization. In a steady progression, rappers are approaching and uncover new subtleties of the very rich person, big shots down, low action, and everything begins to seem to be a plan to at last cut him down, well, assuming that you're anxious to realize the subtleties. We should dive into the story. Greetings everybody, and welcome back to Celeb Live channel. Seeing comms okay. Diddy is one of the most conspicuous individual in the hip bounce industry. However, as of late he has been related, not with grants and extraordinary delivering abilities, but rather for the most part, embarrassments and allegations of disposing of his kindred superstars since the disastrous episode with entertainer Jamie Foxx. More rappers spill a few delicious goodies about Diddy's brutality and monstrosities. And quite possibly of the most stunning assertion has been made. The rapper turned entertainer, obviously I additionally seeks after his own plan by coming later. Diddy on the grounds that these two have never been old buddies. However, the two of them have been in the business adequately long to know each dreadful insights regarding each other well. I knows a few obscure mysteries of the music versatile's past, and evidently everything returns to his notorious wild gatherings, which Jamie Foxx used to go to too. It's been clear for a long time that Jamie takes care of knowing excessively, and Diddy made it a point to his own companion for knowing excessively and attempting to uncover a portion of Kong's mystery acts. Now that James is battling for his life in the Atlanta medical clinic, and his family restricted admittance to the entertainer, even to his dear companions, I accepted that this is undeniably finished to shield James from additional evil effect of his supposed companion, and keeping in mind that an ever-increasing number of individuals approach and point at Diddy as the brains of this episode, it seems like his life is destroyed by these ceaseless allegations. We as a whole skill normally quiet and certain. Diddy is principally a result of his riches and impact, and in the past, he didn't actually try to remark on any reports and hypotheses about himself. He partook in his crazy way of life loaded with violations, questionable exercises with young fellows, and obviously while this party is in the universe, and felt like he possessed the world and everybody in it anyway. The new medical care that had landed Jamie Foxx on the emergency clinic bed, and the degree of public uncover that trailed closely behind, made Diddy very defenseless. Diddy laments his choice to annihilate James. Yet, as we probably are aware, there's nothing that the music tycoon esteems more than his own standing and public picture. As Brushes used to say, business generally starts things out, and as per him, he would have rather not managed any individual who keeps him from making his millions, as the music versatile shared on his Twitter. In the event that you're not rousing me, appealing to God for me, cherishing me, or attempting to get cash with me, your intent. Eruption. Clearly Jamie Foxx turned into that interruption, and Diddy laments giving the entertainer access to his life, and permitting him to go to his wild gatherings, and even film them, since it seems like the Oscar-winning entertainer has lots of fascinating material to haul, and regardless of whether he was really wanting to use against Diddy, we might very well never know. As per Fox, things could get pretty dim and monstrous when Diddy was drinking and joining his visitors, and many subtleties of those trickeries ought to remain covered everlastingly. Would make an appearance to the party in my little in a little town called Jamie Foxx truly began his vocation, a videographer, back in the mid-2000s, and as the entertainer was saying, he was fundamentally the most dynamic virtual entertainment fellow of that period. Dislike online entertainment was concocted around then. Anyway, it didn't stop Jamie to continue to come wherever with his versus camera. In one of his meetings, Foxx shared with the journalist, "I was the main virtual entertainment fellow without online entertainment. The force of virtual entertainment can be genuinely risky, as there are numerous things that are recorded and later spilled on the web that were never expected to see the light." And obviously Diddy currently could lament the day when he permitted James to go along with him behind the shut entryways and even make certain provocative films. Since years after the fact, everything takes steps to surface, and back at Diddy, that is the reason he's worried about the possibility that more individuals would come after him with additional proof, and it's muddled whether the music tycoon has sufficient opportunity and impact to shield himself from every individual who swears on his mother's grave and uncovered him with this occurrence. Back when Jamie Foxx and Diddy met, Brushes was a really settled media character, and James was just meh. Moving gradually up the distinction and achievement stepping stool, as Foxx uncovered, he needed to demonstrate his value and be valuable for the music Goliath. By enhancing his gatherings as a cameraman, he started following Diddy and Title Weasel his way into one of his gatherings. In the end, Diddy began to perceive the young fellow with a colossal versus camera and take him over the most well-known clubs, getting admittance to anybody not by welcomed evidently. It carried more chick to Diddy's gatherings, since in those days, in the time of no cell phones and little cameras, it was a tremendous option and an indication of extravagance. So Jamie turned into a kind of cameraman for all the trickeries, and realizing how much Diddy loves to burn through cash and dazzle individuals with his rich way of life, we can envision that these gatherings were unbelievable. As Foxx reviewed, Davey once admitted him that he could spend in excess of $1 million for one night. "I would hang out and watch him set up parties. He set up a party and said, 'Yo, Playboy, this party costs $1.5 million. I'm like, you are completely crazy.' Yet not the cost of these gatherings made Jamie genuine. I stunned yet what he had seen behind the shut entryways. Clearly the recording he keeps is proof against Diddy. And as numerous rappers previously expressed, this was the main thing that made Jamie dab composed. Many fans share the hypothesis that Diddy wanted to dispose of Jane, yet his plan fizzled, and there's no question in him being engaged with James' well-being alarm. Since this degree of unanimity among Cell is past some other explanation, as one client composed, this twisted egotist has more dead bodies around him than somebody remaining in a burial ground. He is a coordinated kingpin. He generally has a few honeybees continuing, and afterwards somebody comes up dead or in prison sicko. And someone else added, day stage a many individuals has returned to get where he's at. Our God sits high and looks low. He will harvest what he saw. Definitely that is valid, that Diddy has an obscure past brimming with terrible reports, and we should not currently discuss his affection life, since there are more risky things in the emphasis. Well, on one hand, these gatherings turned into Jamie's brilliant past to progress, since he made a ton of valuable associations and colleagues, and then again they turned into a danger to his own life. Numerous years after the fact, say, thanks to God that Jamie is presently encircled by his family, who releases no data or update about the entertainer's state. The press, the main thing the entertainer's family permitted to uncover to the press, is that James is making a course for recuperation and doing approve. As one of Foxx's companions, Scratchgun, said, he's Sias, they say he's ready, so we love it that his family not too far off. And numerous rappers coming after Diddy, and, surprisingly, the people who don't straightforwardly blame the music big shot for attempting to kill his companion and just indicating this chance, they all believe that Diddy should be terrified of the results of his revolting activities. And clearly their strategies have filled in as insiders report that Diddy feels and vulnerable, lost, not understanding what James is talking about him, and why police was staying with him in the medical clinic concerning the remainder of the occurrence. The specific medical problem was not yet uncovered, yet sources say that it required specialists a ton of investment. To recognize the reason for the entertainer's complexity in the midst of this multitude of claims.